Yes. CR here with John Edwards from Netherrealm Studios. How you doing, John?
Doing good. How are you?
Very well. I just seen an MK10 demo. First one of the day, I think.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very good. You had a good presentation yesterday during the conferences as well.
Oh yeah, we were super happy with how that turned out. Yeah, it seemed like everybody was pretty jazzed about it.
Mate, I just saw a fatality that was like ruthless. Faces getting torn off, hearts getting pulled out, tongues still thrashing on the ground. Like, it seems more gruesome than ever. How have you managed that?
Yeah, next gen consoles, right? Like, we have these crazy ideas, for years, and it's like, oh, we just can't do this with the current tech that we have. But finally, this generation, we're able to do some pretty crazy stuff, as you've seen.
It's mad. And also, there's a lot more characters now because you've got, 3 variations for every old character, plus you've got a whole load of new characters. So how did you come up with the new ones? Like, I hear there's lore behind them, the kind of relationships to the previous characters.
Yes, so some of it obviously ties into, story and things like that. A lot of it, too, is just, trying to come up with these cool ideas in the studio. Everyone kind of chips in, cool ideas. And we're like, oh, human-bug hybrid? Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's just figure out some way to make that work.
So where did Ferratora come from? That's a 2 characters in 1.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? I don't remember whose initial idea it was. It's one of those things like, the first time someone says it or you see it, you're just like, oh yeah, we gotta find some way to do that. We've never done it before, just the tech now allows us to actually fully realize that.
You mentioned that you're building on top of the previous Mortal Kombat game, which came out a couple of years ago, which was very well received. Is the single player story going to continue from that, or?
We're not releasing a lot about the story, but I can say it's set 25 years in the future from MK9, so that allows us to bring back some of the classic guys and also introduce a bunch of new characters as well.
What are any specifics that Next Generation has enabled you to do that you couldn't have done in the previous game?
Oh, a lot of the gore stuff that we're able to do is really crazy. Last generation, lots of cuts and slices, dismemberments. Now we're able to punch holes in people's bodies and slice faces off and things like that. Basically, all the crazy things that we just sit around and dream up at work, we're actually able to do now.
How are you going to balance all the new character variations?
The good thing about the variation stuff is that all the characters have like a base style. So Scorpion, he's always going to have the spear, the teleport punch, things like that. We're able to then just layer, 2 or 3 additional abilities on top of that that kind of customize how they fight, in relation to other characters. So we've got it under control.
When you're playing multiplayer, how are you going to know which variation someone's playing?
Each of the variations come with like a costume change. So, like as you saw, like Scorpion, when he's able to summon the demon minion, he has the skull hanging from his belt. So all the characters will be easily recognizable when the variations are active.
And are you talking about how many characters you're having in the game at the moment?
It'll be comparable to what we've done in the past, but we haven't released any official numbers yet.
How about the ratio between old and new?
Same thing with that. There'll be plenty of stuff for classic guys and a lot of new, fresh faces as well.
And have you taken some hints from Injustice as well in building of this?
Each game that we work on, we learn a few more things about different stuff. So we're definitely able to leverage things that we have learned the past games. We try to make all of our games be able to stand on their own.
I think one thing that stood out to me was the conversations at the start of the fight seems much more two-way rather than like a statement now.
Yeah. Every character knows the other characters. They all have backstories, how they've interacted with each other. So there's tons of different variations of how they talk and meet.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It looks like an awesome game. One more very important question for you: tomato ketchup, fridge or cupboard?
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
Tomato ketchup, fridge or cupboard?
Tomato ketchup. Well, I call it tomato ketchup, but yeah, I love tomato ketchup. So. Being from Chicago, I can't put it on hot dogs because people will freak out. Mustard only, but I do love ketchup. So.
But where do you keep it, fridge or cupboard?
I'm going to keep it in the fridge after you open it.
Right off.
Thank you very much. Great, thank you, sir.
Great stuff. Thank you very much.